The Trek Geeks Podcast Network is proud to have Fansets as its presenting sponsor. You know, Fansets is the place for amazing pin collectibles, and they have over 200 officially licensed Star Trek pins with new releases coming out every single month. Stay tuned for a special discount code good on your next order at fansets.com just for Trek Geeks listeners. Fansets. Our pins have character.
This episode is also sponsored by Science Division, the makers of the world's first interactive Tribble that you can control with your very own smartphone. Keep listening for details on a special upcoming event later on in the show, and find out more at sciencediv.com. Science Division. Trouble's never been this fun.
Hi, this is Alexander Siddiq, Dr. Julian Bashir on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and you are listening to the biggest little show this side of the Gamma Quadrant. It's the Trek Geeks podcast with Bill Smith and Dan Davidson.
From the Podfleet Command Adjudication Office, located in the bowels of our headquarters here in the northeastern United States, it's the biggest little show this side of the Alpha Quadrant, the flagship of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, and welcome to the Trek Geeks Podcast. I'm your co-host, Bill Smith, and this is episode number 233. Why do I give that evil laugh, you ask? Well, there's a reason behind it. Every now and then I get to torture my co-host in ways unimaginable by subjecting him to a barrage of Star Trek-related questions. And we should probably bring him in now. He's the largely dim-witted Dan Davidson. And Dan, are you ready to run the gauntlet today, mon frere?
Yeah, thanks for having me. No, actually, I'm very excited. You know, I got to say, though, Bill, before you introduced me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. As always, it was fantastic. You talked about how we were in the bowels of podcast headquarters. We seem to be dealing with bowels a lot here on the Trek Geeks Podcast Network because, as people may know, we are usually broadcasting from deep in the bowels of the USS Cerritos on Discovering Trek. So we are really, like, bowely, don't you think?
Why do I do this show?
Anyway, it's...
Why do we do this podcast? 233 episodes. You think I would have learned that?
Hey, Dan, you want to do a podcast?
That's the best you're going to come up with.
Oh God, no! I didn't even try for that one. So
you haven't been trying for at least 5 years.
No, it's I'm nervous, as I always am for Stump the Geek, but we always have a great time, and you really have upped your game with this one, man. So much so that it's not just Stump the Geek. It's Stump the Geek Infinity. I decided to take normal Stump the Geek and really turn it on its ear before we do like 5 questions and a bonus or maybe 2 bonuses. And I decided, no, this is 2020. The stakes are higher. There has to be something on the line. So we're going to run you through 25 questions, 5 different categories. And a special Pick Your Poison bonus, which I don't think you're going to be able to believe. Can I take the poison now so I don't have to do this?
Oh, please.
Wow. Thanks, partner.
Hey, you're the one who offered. I'm just trying to enable you as best I can.
That's true.
Speaking of enabling, Dan, I'm enabling you now to tell people how they can get in touch with us and tell us how much they love Stump the Geek.
Well, I want to hear how much people love Stump the Geek because I just don't even know why. But anyway, we truly love hearing from all of you who listen, and we have a bunch of ways that you can get in touch with us. You can email us, you can send us a voicemail, and you can chat us up. All kinds of methods to get us your comments, feedback, or suggestions. And it all starts by going to trekgeeks.com/contact. And you can always find us and the other hosts on the Trek Geeks Podcast Network over at the most positive Star Trek group on Facebook. It's Camp Kittimer. There's lots of Trek groups on Facebook, and Camp Kittimer is truly different because it's about what we love about Star Trek, and we don't allow any negativity in there either. It's always a positive. So open up that Facebooky doodad on your flip phone or other device and search for Camp Kittimer. And be ready to take part of a truly wonderful social experience. And we really mean that. And as always, we want to thank our wonderful admins, Haley, Jackie, and Dan, for the amazing job they do running that camp. But also, please remember that any comments or messages that you leave us in any of these places may be used in a future episode, because I'm not the only one who gets picked on in the show. We're going to pick on you. So send in the comments, because we want to do some picking.
People love me. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah, they love you all right. Like a fungus.
Hey.
Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you really did. I'm going to have to amplify that so people can hear it too, because you get all Chakotay mumbly.
Kuchimoya.
Kuchimoya. Your face. Dan, here we are. It's almost October. October 1st is literally right around the corner just this week. Mere hours away as we record this. And you know what that means.
Yeah, I do, buddy. It's your birthday. Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry. You mean something that people actually care about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, then, of course, we are so excited because it's Fansets Day on October 1st. That's right. Every 1st and 15th of the month, you can expect brand new, shiny, and spiffy-looking pins from our dear friends over at Fansets. And October is no exception. This is a long list, buddy. I got to tell you, October 1st is big. So, as you like to say over on Discovering Trek when you do your 6-second recap.
6 sentence.
That's the second time I've done that.
I know.
That's amazing. 6 sentences. See, I wish it was only 6 seconds, because then we wouldn't have to listen.
Shut up.
But here we go. For DC Comics, a giant 4-inch oversized pin of Anti-Monitor will be available in all of his glory, as well as Robot Man from Doom Patrol. Ultraman is once again in the spotlight as the dreaded Bemular makes his debut as an awesome pin. And you Zenoscope fans will be very happy to see that the newest pin-up pin of the gorgeous yet dangerous Liesl Van Helsing is also coming out on October 1st. And oh yeah, that's right, this is a Star Trek podcast, so for you Star Trek fans, get your hands on these newest pins. Bryce from Discovery and Hoshi for the awesome Women of Trek collection will be available. And starting on October 1st, you can finally pre-order the Voyager 25th Anniversary Collector Set. I will be pre-ordering that on October 1st. And Bill, you thought I was done. Nope.
I was hoping you were done.
No, I'm sorry. I just got to keep going. I am so happy to announce that finally, the series we've been talking about for a long time is finally coming out. My wife Sue is incredibly excited about this. It's Scooby-Doo making his debut on October 1st. Scooby, Daphne, and Freddy will be available on the 1st, and Shaggy, Velma, and the Mystery Machine will be released on October 15th. But if you can't wait for those second set of 3 pins on October 15th, Fansets is going to have a special whole set of 6 collection available on October 1st. If you are impatient like I am and can't wait until the 15th.
So I know how much money you'll be dropping on October 1st.
Oh boy. Lots.
It's time to apply for a new card. And I've noticed one thing. You just don't shut up, do you? I mean, it's constant blah, 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 blah. I don't know of anyone who loves their own voice more than you. Wow. But at least this time, it's finally for a good cause, because we're both very excited about all the new releases from Fansets on October 1st. So listeners, do yourself a huge favor. Go clean out your ears after listening to Dan blather on and on and on over there. And then go to fansets.com. When you get there, put a whole lot of pins, accessories, and even gift certificates into your cart, because when you spend more than $30, you know you're automatically going to get free shipping in the US. And then on top of that, for 15% off your entire order, use the special Trek Geeks exclusive discount code for this week, Stump The Geek.
Yes.
That's Stump The Geek in all capital letters with no spaces. This discount code will be available to use from now until Wednesday, October 7th, 2020 at midnight Eastern Daylight Time.
Fansets. Our pins have character, and we thank our friends at Fansets for being the presenting sponsor on the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. Blah, 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 head, bong bong, bong bong in the head, bong bong, bong bong in the head, blah blah blah, bong bong, bong bong in the head, bong bong.
Well, buddy, here we are. You know, in the past, we've done a lot of Stump the Geek in years past, and it is always such a huge success with the people who listen. They love Stump the Geek. They ask us to do it more often. Granted, it's hard to do more often because it does require a lot of prep work on either your part or my part, depending on whether it's Stump the Geek or Geek the Stump. But today I decided to change it up and take Stump the Geek and move it to the next level. Now, what does that involve, you might say? In fact, why don't you say that?
What does that involve, Bill?
I'm glad you asked. Huh. Well, I've patterned Stump the Geek Infinity after the round of a famous question and answer game show, whose name that we can't really use.
True.
And it's one round, 5 categories, 5 questions. And then I have a pick your poison bonus.
My poison is this.
So it's going to be a little different. So do you have any questions going into this?
I don't have any questions other than why do people like this? I mean, I get nervous. I get nervous when we usually do this because, you know, I know my stuff, but I'm always afraid that I'm just going to, you know, completely fall on my face. And now I'm facing 25 questions and I'm going to look like a fool.
Well, some might say you look like a fool even without the questions.
I knew that was coming.
I know. And it's amazing the number of people who have challenged you to play a round of Stump the Geek.
Yes, that's true.
And it's not like you maintain that you have this all-encompassing Trek knowledge that is better than anyone else's. You actually don't do that.
No, I don't. There's just stuff. It's weird. I remember stuff through Star Trek, and I remember stuff through sports, and sometimes they intermingle, and sometimes they don't. But no, I could never even pretend to be as amazing with Star Trek memory and trivia as Dr. Trek. So
that's true. And
that is true.
Do Star Trek and the sports things mingle when it's Anbujitsu?
Only when I get to wear the never often seen orange and black Anbujitsu suit.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, that'd be good.
I know.
Well, Dan, let me read off the categories.
Okay.
And in fact, let me do it in a familiar way. The categories are what's in a number, aliens, library computer, who was that, and the holodeck. Dan is the only contestant tonight. You have control of the board and decide where we'll start.
Before we start, I do have to say that my wife and I are heavily watching The Masked Singer now. So when you said who was that, all I could hear was do 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 do. Who is that?
So when that happens, my wife and I usually sing this. I just got a new phone. Who is that?
And what a great show!
I don't know why.
I didn't know I was going to love it as much as I do. But we're watching season 3 right now. So
if you think it would help you to wear a mask to go through the board, that would be fantastic. But you get to pick the category and the point level. The point levels are 500, 1,000, 1,500, 5,000, and 10,000 in each category.
Wow!
You can skip around the board wherever you want, but we will complete the whole board.
Oh, great! That's 25 questions of torture.
Unlike the unnamed question and answer game show that has run for decades, there's no time limit on this round.
Okay. That's
Although
good to know as well.
I may prompt you to answer a question if you're kind of, taking your time.
And what I'll do, because there are so many questions, if it's something that I'm just like completely no idea, I'm just going to say, give it up. I don't want to have to sit there and have people listen to me sound like a fool more than I usually do.
This may factor into your tactic. If you do get a question wrong, you do get negative points.
Well, that's not fair.
It's incredibly fair. It's just Stump the Geek Infinity.
I thought there were no rules.
All the rules are out the window.
That's all right. Okay. All right. I guess
with that, Dan, you have control of the board. Where shall we start?
No, I'm not going to do a Sean Connery impersonation. Let's start right off the bat with Aliens for 500, Bill.
Aliens for 500. These aliens ran everywhere and wore skimpy clothes in TNG's Justice.
Those clothes. Those are good clothes. Is that okay? So let me ask you, can I ask you a question about the episode without you giving away anything.
I will allow it.
Is that the episode where Wesley falls in the grass and is going to get killed?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And that's the one. That's also the one that has that big thing in space.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God.
That's what she said.
Yes. No, this is not The Office.
Oh, sorry.
It's the Edo. The Edo. Yes. I will go with the Edo. Final answer. I don't have to say that garbage, do I?
You don't have to say that.
Thank you.
That is correct.
Yes.
The Edo.
Oh, look at that. You even have the answer come up on screen for me.
You're at 500 points. Where do we go next?
Might as well stay with aliens. Let's go aliens. 1,000. Bill, I almost called you something else.
They pitted Captain Kirk against the Gorn Captain.
The Metrons.
That is correct, Dan.
That was an easy one. You know what? Might as well stay where the going is going well. So let's do aliens for 10,000.
For 10,000 points. The answer is these proto-Vulcans worshipped the Picard.
Oh, my God. Mentakins?
That is correct.
Oh, that was a guess. Wow. So what am I get for points now?
You're at 11,500. It's at the bottom of the screen.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't say. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. All right, Bill. Let's do. Let's round out this one. We got 2 left. Let's do for 5,000 aliens, please.
Linus is one of these aliens.
Oh, Discovery. Oh, and I should know this because we talk about it. We talked about it on Discovering Trek. Oh,
People
man.
are screaming at their cars.
I know they are. I know that he had a cold. I know that he was a little bit
sniffly.
The drink. They have a drink. They're famous for their alcohol. Saurian. He's a Saurian.
That is
Saurian
correct.
Brandy. Oh, yes. So far, so good. I'm liking this game so far because I haven't gotten anything wrong. So let's wrap up aliens. We might as well. Let's do it for 1,500, man.
1,500. The answer is 11001001.
That would be the Beinhars.
That is correct. Dan, you've run the category on aliens.
And that was fast, too.
That was. You actually did super well. See, it's not going to be that bad, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know. So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
As we're letting everybody catch their breath and say, wow, that Dan is pretty good.
He's amazing.
While they're saying that, do the questions, well, actually, I could answer this myself because those are all pretty easy, but do the questions get harder the larger the point value?
Possibly.
Okay. So it's not a definite, but it could happen.
It could happen.
Because, as you said, no rules.
No rules.
All right. Let's go into what I think would probably be my favorite room on any starship, and that would be the holodeck for 500.
Oh, I love it. For holodeck for 500. Question number 1. This Old English epic poem was at the center of Voyager's Heroes and Demons.
I don't know if the name of it. I'm not if I'm going to get the right of it. All I can think of is Grendel. I don't know if that's going to be right or not.
That is incorrect. The answer is Beowulf.
Beowulf. Yes.
Beowulf.
There you go.
So there's your first incorrect answer. You were deducted 500 points for that. All in all, not bad.
Not bad. You know what? I'm going to get one of these holodeck ones right. So let's go with the next one. 1,000, please.
1,000. What holographic Western town was Worf the sheriff of?
Oh, that's Fistful of Datas. I know that.
It is.
I can see the signs. Oh, geez. Oh my God. Okay. I'm not giving up on this. This is one of my favorite episodes.
I know it is too.
I'm not giving up. Oh God. Let's see. Sorry.
We also will not have the theme from that famous question and answer show playing underneath.
I want to say, I want to say Dead Gulch, but it's not Dead Gulch, but I know it's Dead something. I'm going to Deadwood. The
answer is Deadwood, South Dakota.
Wow. I didn't know it was South Dakota.
It is.
Interesting. Okay.
It is.
Oh.
See, you pulled that. See, this is what happens with Stump the Geek routinely is you pull it out, and
I don't know how.
I don't know how, man.
I don't know how, man, but I'll take it. All right. You know what? Keep it going. No, I'm not going to do that because then that's just going to get boring for everybody else. Let's pick something else. Let's go with what's in a number for 500.
What's in a number for 500? The answer is NX-02.
That would be the U.S. Columbia. Oh, the NX Columbia.
Or Columbia.
That
is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you
All
want to
right.
go next?
Library computer for 500.
What was the name of B'Elanna Torres's mother?
What does that have to do with a library computer?
These are facts in the library computer. It's in her
I
personnel
thought
file.
you were going to be giving me like episodes like Mr. Atos and stuff like that. All right. I know she was Klingon.
That's good. Yeah, that's part of the battle. Yeah, right there.
It was all right. I got to think of the one with their episode where in the Barge of the Dead, and it is
Barge of the Dead.
Miral. Morale?
That is correct.
Okay.
Morale.
Right. Oh, does pronunciation count?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm not going to ding you on pronunciation.
All right. I'm going to sip my margarita while I'm waiting for the next one. Because, I have to drink during this. So
you haven't drank enough. So Dan, you're at 20,000 points, a respectable showing.
I like that.
Where do you want to go next, buddy?
Let's go to, let's stay with library computer for 1,000.
Excellent. Library computer for 1,000. The only two fleet captains mentioned in Star Trek.
Pike and
you have one right.
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank on the second one. I don't want to hold people up. I'm gonna have to get. Do I get 50% of the answer correct?
No, because I don't have a way to score that.
I don't think. Oh, let me ask you this. You can say this a yes or no because I'm having trouble with the name anyway.
Yep.
Is it the captain who was in the shuttle with Kirk in the menagerie?
No, that's a Commodore.
Commodore. That was Commodore Mendez. That's right. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to pass.
I'm gonna give you a hint.
Oh, okay. All right.
Elba 2.
Elba 2. Oh, that'd be Garth. Garth of Izar.
That is correct. The only two fleet captains mentioned throughout the whole of Star Trek are Garth of Izar and Christopher Pike.
Thank you for that hint. That was much appreciated. I can't imagine that those are going to happen very often.
Well, I was feeling a little magnanimous, especially since Garth of Izar is such a horrible character.
Yes, and played equally as bad by a lot of people. Yeah. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Let's do with who was that for 500. So, hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Our friends at Science Division have a special event coming up, and they wanted us to tell everybody about it. So go ahead.
That's right. On Friday, October 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern, Jay and Kalia will host another of their Tribble Talks, but this time there's also a special trivia event as well. Joining the broadcast, Dan, will be none other than Dr. Trek himself, our friend Larry Nemechek, for a fan panel about Tribbles and their appearances on Star Trek, followed by a Tribble-themed trivia event. This sounds like it's going to be amazing. The event's going to take place on Zoom, and information can be found by heading to sciencediv.com and clicking on the Trivia tab in the menu.
I miss Dr. Trek.
I miss everybody.
It sounds like it's going to be a great event, and we certainly don't want you to miss it. And hey, by the way, we don't want you to miss out on the galaxy's first interactive Tribble from Science Division either. You can buy your Tribble right now at sciencediv.com, and when it arrives, you can download the Section K7 app on your iOS or Android phone, give it a name, and even choose what ship it's going to be assigned to, which is very cool. Plus, since Tribbles are not dangerous, you'll be able to enjoy your Tribble every single day, Bill.
Yeah, every day. Luckily, they don't talk like you do. And of course, don't forget to mark those calendars for Friday, October 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern for the special Tribble fan panel from Science Division. If you're like Dan, you're probably going to try to use a crayon on your iPhone, but the rest of you can probably just ask Siri or Alexa to remind you for what's going to be a great evening.
Science Division. Trouble's never been this fun. And we thank our friends at Science Division for sponsoring this week's episode.
Who is that for 500? This actress played Anne Mulhall and Miranda Jones.
That's, oh my God, the actress. Diane. Wait a minute. Am I thinking the right person? She also played Dr. Pulaski, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. I should know this because I make fun of her all the time.
Shares a birthday with both Gene Roddenberry and Jonathan Frakes.
I was going to say Diane Mulhall, but it's Diane Muldar. That's what
that is correct. Diana Muldauer.
I said Diane, but I'll go with Diana.
That's you get credit for that. You could have actually just given me her last name, and I would have given it to you.
Oh, first name wouldn't have been okay?
No, no. Where to next?
Let's do. Who was that for 1,000?
Not the bass player of the rock band Kiss.
I haven't the slightest idea. It's Gene Simmons.
Yeah, that is correct.
Oh, that's right. And that's, the drumhead. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Nice, and I will say, awesome reference to the drumhead in this week's Lower Decks, I got to say. I really like that.
It's a little bonk bonk on the head.
It is, yep.
Yeah.
But I liked it. All right, let's do what's in a number for 1,000, buddy?
NCC 1864.
Is that the Reliant?
That is correct.
Oh, boom. I like
the
Reliant.
You're doing really great.
Starship.
You're 23,500. You're doing really well, buddy.
I've gotten one wrong so far?
Two
wrong.
Oh, no,
Two.
one.
No, I think it was just one. Yep. All right, let's go with what's in a number for 1,500 again.
All righty. NX326.
NX326. Is that the Franklin, I believe?
That is correct, from Star Trek Beyond. USS Franklin.
Yes.
Where to?
Let's do Library Computer for 1,500.
The finest Cardassian novel ever written.
A Stitch in Time by Mr. Robinson.
No.
I should know this one, but I don't, and I'm just going to rack my brain over and over, so I'm not going to waste everybody's time listening to me trip over myself.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
The Never-Ending Sacrifice.
Yeah, which is pretty much every time I sit down in this chair.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's only your second incorrect answer so far, Dan. You've actually done super well. Okay. You've only got 10 questions left. You're through 15.
Flying through 15 already. Wow. That's amazing. It feels like it's only been a few minutes, too.
I know, right?
Let's do the holodeck for 1,500, Mr. Host.
Oh, well, thank you. The villain in The Big Goodbye.
Well, it wasn't Galron. He was just one of his henchmen.
That's correct.
It was that guy with the hat.
Old guy, kind of gruff.
Old guy. Yeah, and he was like, Mr. Cyrus Redblock.
That's correct.
I'm Cyrus Redblock. Okay.
I love that name. Cyrus Redblock. Cyrus Redblock is right for 1,500 points.
All right. Let's do who was that for 1,500?
You could smell what he was cooking in Voyager's Sunkatse.
That would be The Rock.
That is correct. I would have accepted The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The Rock.
Welcome to The Rock.
Yes. Oh, nicely done.
Thank you.
I like that. All right, we gotta slow it up. We're gonna be done in like 5 minutes. Let's
well, you gotta pick your poison bonus coming.
Oh, I know that, but let me ask you this. A little break.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to put this board with all of these questions together?
Not long.
Really?
There's a website where you can put it together and save a local copy, which is what I've done.
But did you have to come up with the questions yourself?
Oh yeah, I wrote all the questions.
Database? Oh, okay. That's pretty good. You know what? You gotta be pretty smart in Star Trek to be able to come up with these questions too. So
not really. There's a link on Memory Alpha that says random page, and I keep clicking random page until I get something I can turn into a question.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
So, and that's what I've done always for Stump the Geek, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've always thought of the questions off the top of my head when I do gunk the stump. What?
Gunk the dump.
The stump. Yeah.
Geek Forrest Gump. Yes. What?
Yeah, exactly. I'll take the holodeck for 5,000.
Oh, so we're starting back up again. Okay.
Yeah, why not? I heard enough of your answers.
Riker is investigated for murder using holodeck recreations in this episode.
You just talked about that last night, too. Oh, God. It's not the big goodbye. We just talked about that.
I actually really like this episode. I know people
It's
who hate it.
a matter of perspective, and it's an awesome episode. It's one of my favorite. Dr. Apgar. I love that guy.
You're a dead man, Apgar.
Yeah, and he's also the uncle in big Breaking Bad, too,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah, Tito Salamanca.
Yeah, I love him. Yep, cool.
And he doesn't speak.
No, he doesn't.
So, Dan, you're up to 31,500 points. That's a really respectable show. Notice the points are not random like they are for Stump the Geek Classic.
Which helps a lot. It helps me stay focused.
How does that help you?
I don't know, because I'm not focused at any time. Okay, so you know what? I think my least favorite of the categories, because it's Star Trek per se, but at least with a couple of them, it's been the people who played them. Let's do Library Computer for 5,000.
This is General Order 7.
That's the death penalty for going to Talos 4, I believe.
Yes, and although you don't have to quote it, I will. No vessel under any condition, emergency or otherwise, is to visit Talos 4. Bang. The only death penalty left on the books, and we'll be talking about this one next week, buddy.
Yeah. Nice. Yes, we will. Absolutely. We got some awesome episodes coming up with the next couple of weeks with this very topic.
Yes.
We're going to save that for the next week segment, because that's always fun.
Yes, we will. So let's take a count here. You have 6 questions left, either in the 5 or 10,000 point range.
Right.
So you've blown through the earlier tiers, and in categories you have left what's in a number, library computer, who was that, and holodeck.
That's a mess singer. Let's wrap up the holodeck for 10,000 points, buddy.
Very good. Picard goes to this Parisian restaurant in We'll Always Have Paris.
I know that it's right there next to the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, you're good. In Paris.
Oh gosh. It's not, I want to say the Sandrine. That's the first thing coming to my head, so that's what I'm going with.
That's Voyager. Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
That's why it was in my head so much, because it was I don't even know how to pronounce that.
The Cafe des Artistes.
Oh, that's right. And he meets up with
Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and Papas.
Phillips. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
God, that was only like 33 years ago.
Right. As we record right now, Bill,
as we record right now,
it is the 33rd anniversary of Encounter at Farpoint Part 1.
Which means I turned 18 33 years ago.
Math is not hard.
It's not.
And what a day that was.
I
was in Colorado.
Yeah, you were. I was actually in New Hampshire at my parents' house in the Lakes region. And Channel 5 in Boston preempted their entire primetime lineup that Saturday night to show Encounter at Farpoint. The ABC primetime lineup also included a show that night called Once a Hero, the executive producer of which was Ira Stephen Bear.
Oh, wow.
It was canceled like 3 episodes later.
Well, I'm glad that he had some free time, because he went on to bigger and better things.
Far better things.
Way better.
So speaking of way better and the best, you have 2 5,000 point questions and 3 10,000 point questions. Right now you sit at 26,500 points. You've had a couple of incorrect answers, but good ones, good answers. So where do you want to go next, knowing that you may have to strategize a little here?
Big bucks, no whammies. Wrong show. Let's do Library Computer for 10,000, buddy.
Oh boy. Queen to Queen's level 3.
Queen to King's level 1.
That is correct.
That's from that earlier episode that we talked about, actually.
I worked that in on purpose, actually.
Oh, okay.
4 questions left. The 5,000 and 10,000 questions in What's in a Number, and the 5,000 and 10,000 under Who Is That? Let's
do What's in a Number for 10,000.
Wow.
It up.
All righty, here we go. NCV 474439G.
G. 47. G. I don't even remember a G ever.
The first three letters may provide more of a clue.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's definitely from the Kelvin timeline. I think. No.
Let's just say that you have a lot of time here.
It's not the Enterprise J, obviously. Is it the Relativity?
That is correct. The USS
yes,
Relativity.
Which we also talked about last week.
I may have peppered some of these into conversation on purpose.
Nicely done. I really love that episode so much.
That is a great episode.
Like I said in See It or Skip It, that's my second favorite episode of the whole season 5 of Voyager.
That's a great one.
With only Timeless beating it out. So yeah. Nice.
Three questions left, buddy, as you swirl the ice cubes in your pint glass.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah,
that's okay.
We get a lot of that on Lower Decks, Discovering Trek Lower Decks, but not usually on Trek Geeks. So I apologize for that. Let's go with, let's wrap up what's in a number for 5,000, man.
Very good. NCC 75567.
That would be the USS Voyager.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
Oh my God, what did I do?
The answer is USS Cerritos.
I'm so used to seeing it that I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that was a bad mistake on my part.
The Voyager being 74656.
Yeah, I saw the 7 and just jumped at it, and I shouldn't have. That's what happens when you guess too fast because you think you're a know-it-all.
Dan, 2 questions left, and who was that? 5,000 and 10,000? Which one do you want?
Let's do the 5,000, buddy.
This stand-up comic hails from Bedford, New Hampshire, but we saw her in Voyager's Future's End.
It's not Sarah Silverman.
Yes, it is.
Okay, then.
Sarah Silverman from Bedford, New Hampshire.
I will let you know that I never knew that fact about Sarah Silverman.
Well,
so that's kind of cool.
That's okay. Rain Robinson, not my favorite character. So you have one question left, buddy. It's who was that for 10,000 points? He played a Xindi reptilian long before he was in The Walking Dead.
You know, I'm thinking. I know who I want to say, but I'm afraid that it's wrong. And I want to say Scott McDonald, but I don't know if he was in The Walking Dead. But I know he played Xindi. Of course, he also played Tosk. You know what? To the best
of my knowledge, he was not in The Walking Dead. Even if you give me the character name from The Walking Dead, I will call that a correct answer. There are people screaming at their phones.
I know. See, I've let so much go with The Walking Dead and don't remember a lot of it. And there's so much makeup under those Xindi reptilians.
He hated his experience on Star Trek. So it is a he, obviously, like I said in the question.
I'll go with Negan because that's the only thing coming to my mind right now.
That is correct. Jeffrey Dean Morgan played the Xindi reptilian in the episode where they go back in time. Detroit.
I don't remember that. I mean, I remember the episode, but I don't remember it being Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
The name of the episode escapes me at the moment.
23 Carpenter Street or
Carpenter
something like
Street.
That? Yeah. Okay.
So, Dan, you have 56,500 points. That is an incredibly respectable showing.
Shocked.
As am I. As am I. So, this takes us to the bonus.
Oh, God.
And you got to be asking yourself, what could I have possibly come up with for a bonus? In fact, are you asking that? Let's hear you ask that.
You know, you're sitting here talking to me, and I'm wondering myself, what on earth could you have come up with for a bonus, Bill?
I'm so glad you asked. So this Pick Your Poison bonus, it has 2 possible outcomes. Well, 3, really. The first of which is you don't get any of it correct and you walk away with no points.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'm going to make a change on the fly.
Because there are no rules.
You bank the points that you have for a future Stump the Geek Infinity. So that was 56.5.
Wow. Okay.
So if you get nothing correct, You retain the points that you came in with.
So that means there's going to be another one in here?
However, if you name all of these things in order,
Oh, God.
you will get 100 times your score. However, if that proves too hard and you just want to name the items without putting them in order, you'll get 10 times your score, but you also have to utter the phrase, "My name is Dan Davidson and I'm a big doo-doo head."
Okay. Let me write that down.
Oh, I've got it here. Don't worry.
Oh, all right. Okay. I'm sure you do. Probably framed and hung up right above your computer.
No, it's just here in Notepad. Really? So I tried to pick a bonus that spanned a bunch of eras, because Star Trek is so broad. There are stories told over multiple decades and timelines and generations. See what I did there?
I like that.
So I tried to come up with something that was key to this bonus. And your question tonight, each of the starships named Enterprise has had a person with that unique talent to keep our crews going where none have gone before. Of course, I'm talking about the chief engineer.
Okay.
So Dan, for 100 times your score, name all of the chief engineers of spacefaring vessels named Enterprise that we've seen on screen in timeline order, regardless of whether they were permanent or not.
Timeline order. Oh, that's going to be tough.
However, if that proves too hard, you can just name the engineers in any order for 10 times your score. But of course, you have to utter the phrase, "My name is Dan Davidson and I'm a big doo-doo head," which could become a ringtone. So I will tell you that I have 10 names here. If you get 7 out of the 10, we'll consider that a success.
Okay. All right. All right. So if we're going in chronological order, then we have to first go with NX-01, and that was Trip Tucker.
Yes.
After NX-01, there was the Enterprise. I don't think we saw the engineer or heard the engineer's name in Discovery. So I will go with Montgomery Scott for the Enterprise. The TOS Enterprise, I should say.
That's not in order.
It's not in order. Okay, so
do you want to go for the 10 times round instead of the 100 times?
Well, I'm trying to think now. There was somebody who was an engineer before him.
Remember, regardless of timeline.
Oh. Okay. So let's go with all right, so let me back up a second. And it would have been Scotty on the Enterprise on the Kelvin timeline too.
You will have 2 entries for Scotty.
Okay, so TOS Kelvin timeline, Scotty. We got Scotty from from 1701A. But I don't know if that's that's not going to be in, well, it could be in the right order. It's confusing. This timeline thing is really getting to me.
Technically, since you mentioned the 1701A, which was not counted because he was still the chief engineer of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
You're at 3.
Well, it was a different ship, so that's why I said A, because it was. Oh no.
Well, it was, but he was still the same chief engineer.
Oh, okay. All right. But then, if we're looking at timelines, then he was he was the engineer of the Prime timeline. I would also say Scotty in the Kelvin timeline, which probably happened before he became the engineer in the Prime timeline. So I'm going to go with Scotty and Kelvin first, and then Scotty in Prime next. Is that right? Okay.
So far, that is correct. You have 3.
Okay. All right. So we got that. So we get them, because none of the other ones we see, he was Scotty all through the movies. We've got. I don't know what the woman's name was in TNG before Geordi took over. I know that she was Diana Taylor on General Hospital, but I think that's about it.
Unfortunately, Diana Taylor doesn't count.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna have to go with this if I can hit 7, because I don't remember what her name is.
Okay.
But Geordi, of course, for the D, and so different ship, but based on what you said before, also for the E, but it's the same guy. How many is that?
That's 4, but you've skipped a whole bunch in between Scotty and Geordi. Specifically of the 1701D.
Yeah, I don't recall who any of the engineers were before Geordi took over. Besides the blonde woman.
All right, so I'm going to give you the blonde woman, even though you know she was there. Her name was Sarah McDougal.
Okay.
She was in The Naked Now.
Yep.
In between her and Geordi, there were 3 other chief engineers of the 1701D.
Wasn't one of them... He had like a Scottish name or something, which makes sense. Was it Argyle?
He actually came right after McDougal, so that's correct. Chief Argyle.
After that, I got nothing before Geordi. So how many do I have? 6?
You have 6.
Oh, cripe. Jeez, yeah, I don't know.
There are 2 other Kelvin timeline ones that you've missed too, by the way.
Oh, Chekhov becomes chief engineer.
Yes, he does.
Okay, that's
So that's 7th. So we didn't go in order, so you're going to get 10 times your bonus, but let me go through the whole list.
Oh my God, that was tough.
And that is, there's Trip Tucker, there's Olson, the guy who dies on the space jump down to the drilling platform on the Narada.
He was the chief engineer?
He was the chief engineer, according to Memory Alpha.
All right.
There's Montgomery Scott Kelvin timeline, who became the chief engineer in 2258. There's Montgomery Scott of the Prime timeline, who was chief engineer in 2265. There's Pavel Chekhov in the Kelvin timeline. There's Sarah McDougal, chief engineer of the 1701D in The Naked Now. There's Chief Argyle, chief engineer of the 1701D in Data Lore. There's Lieutenant Logan.
Don't remember that. I don't remember Logan. The only Logan I know has blades coming out of his knuckles.
Which I think may have been the Arsenal of Freedom. There was Leland T. Lynch.
That name rings a bell.
Yeah, he was a chief engineer. Season 1. Don't. You're gonna make me look that up, aren't you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're not doing Geek the Stump, so I shouldn't have to put that on you.
No, you shouldn't. But I will tell you because I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, all right. Well, look at you.
It was Skin of Evil.
Oh, interesting. I just watched that the other day, and I don't remember him.
The one where Tasha died.
Was he the one in the shuttle?
No, he was on board the Enterprise.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And of course, season 2 brought us Geordi LaForge as chief engineer. So
best casting change they made
ever.
Yeah.
You figure they went through four others before they got to Geordi.
Right.
I was like, yeah, why don't we just let the blind guy do it?
Wow.
So, Dan, that means because you did get 7 out of 10, we do consider it correct, but you didn't get them in order.
Yeah.
So that means you only get 10 times your score from the round, which you'll bank for next time.
That's 500,000.
That's 565,000. And unfortunately, it does mean that you have to utter the phrase which could become a ringtone in Camp Kittimer.
See, I should have wrote it down because I don't remember it.
Oh, no, I'm going to paste it in chat for you because I knew you'd give me this. I don't remember BS.
Okay.
And so
voice ready.
There it is for you in chat. Please make it as theatric as you like.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Dan Davidson, and I am a big doo-doo head.
There we go. Stump the Geek Infinity is in the books, and you did great, buddy.
I got to tell you, man, I was nervous about this because we've done Stump the Geeks, and even though it's only like 5 questions or however many, it's always I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I was really nervous about 25. This was fun. I really had a good time with this. I loved the look of the board. I liked the questions. You came up with some good ones. I'm actually glad that I got a couple wrong because I don't want to, have to live up to a reputation. I've already got a bad reputation.
Don't I know it? Well, next time we play Stump the Geek Infinity, who knows? The questions could be harder. In that other game show with the all the answers and questions, they do have a second round called Double. You know what?
Yeah.
So
double infinity.
There could be double infinity, Dan, where the point values are doubled.
Ah. Okay. Are we going to have like video and audio maybe?
Probably not. That takes a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I know you. I know I was asking for too much with you, but this was great. I really had a good time. It was fun.
565,000, buddy. Great job.
And since we have now wrapped up this portion of the show, I'm going to throw a little curveball at you.
Oh, okay.
As we record, it is September 28th. Your birthday is coming up in just 2 days, and I'm here to tell you. Well, I think. I'm going to be going to bed in a little while. So
okay. Oh, sorry.
So I'm sorry. And in a couple days, in a few days, whichever way you want to go. Your birthday's coming up.
I'm going to be old. I get it.
You are going to be old. I got something special for you planned. So just there you go.
Really, you're just going to tease me like that?
That's all I'm saying. I could do it now and have you and give it to you live, but I'm not going to do that.
Well, it's actually being taped, so it's not really live.
It would be live for you. It would be Memorex for everybody else. If you really want me to do it now live, I'd be happy to do it.
I will wait, but we will report back next week's episode to actually tell people what it was.
Okay. I have a feeling you might tweet it out and say how awesome your friend is.
Hey, man.
I mean, I did. You sent me something pretty cool. That's something I'm going to be like, if I could frame it, I would, but I can't.
Did we talk about what I sent you for your birthday?
I don't think we really have. Maybe we should save that for news.
So your birthday was
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, coming up Wednesday. Yeah. And we can talk about it now. I mean, I got you a special greeting from a notable Star Trek celebrity.
It's amazing. I've seen this service out there, and I've never really paid it any attention. But it's a service called Cameo, and they've got thousands and thousands of different famous people that you can have personalized greetings sent for all kinds of occasions. So Bill sent me a happy birthday greeting from none other than the Nav Visitor from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It was the most heartwarming, touching, wonderful message from someone who I have cherished for so long and had her on the show. And she even pointed out that she remembered doing the show with us. It was awesome, man. It was totally unexpected. I had no clue. All I remember, I'll tell people right now, we usually say good morning to each other on chat at work. And you go, so happy birthday, buddy. I hope you got a couple minutes. And I had literally just gotten out of the shower when you sent that to me. So I was in the bathroom reading my phone when you sent me that. And I'm like, well, I just got out of the shower, but before I could hit enter, you sent me the video. So I'm standing there in my bathroom listening to Nana Visitor sing happy birthday to me and also say happy birthday. And I got tears coming out of my eyes as I'm standing there in the bathroom. So it was awesome. Thank you so much. It was great.
So wait, were you naked?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had a towel wrapped around, but yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's,
so there you go. So everybody can put that in your, burn that into your brain for all eternity.
Oh, it's burned. Yeah. It's burned.
So yeah. So anyway, it was great. Thank you so much. It was it was a very special birthday present.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. I know that you've never been a big birthday person, and I'm glad it brought you joy because it's not like we can just go out and get a drink and celebrate each other's birthday this year.
Absolutely, yeah, that's true. And it's funny. It is birthdays. Birthdays is another day to me. It's never something I've really ever given a lot of focus on, but I did buy myself something for my birthday this year, and it's coming in this week, and it's the new Xbox One game, Star Wars Squadron, which I can't wait for because X-Wing and X-Wing versus TIE Fighter are two of my favorite computer games in history, and this is supposed to be just like that. So little crossing of the streams there, so to speak, here on the Trek Geeks podcast network.
Your face crosses the stream.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, Dan, now that you've reigned victorious, yes! You are the champion, my friend. Mm-hmm. Not the John Champion. That's somebody else entirely, I've heard.
Thank God.
We should also thank our friends, the band 5 Year Mission. They champions of Star Trek bands. So many great songs. I love how they take the episodes that we've watched for decades and write songs around them to make you look at the episodes in a different way. These aren't song parodies. We're not talking about Star Trek in here. We're talking about original compositions that really take an element of the episode and explore it. So we want everyone to head on out to 5yearmission.net, download all their albums. Nay, scratch that. Order all of their CDs because physical media is king. And the band would love to send you a whole bunch of CDs if you order them. I've heard it. I've heard it from Fark. He loves to mail out CDs. So get those CDs in your hands. Become big fans of 5 Year Mission because we are ourselves. That's 5yearmission.net. Get all the tunes, yo.
The songs have deep meaning, Bill. I mean,
they do.
They really make you think. And I'm thinking now, after this wonderful Stump the Geek Infinity, extravaganza, I'm thinking they need to work on a Stump the Geek Infinity theme. Get on that, guys. Anyway, I digress. Let me get back to the important matter at hand. Bill, do you remember the holodeck program on Voyager that was that village of Fairhaven?
I do.
Yeah, I hated it also. It just never sat well with me, and for good reason. Those pesky Irish holograms. Problems arise from running the Irish village nonstop. It's sure to happen. Of course, a malfunction is going to happen because it's the holodeck. And all those holograms are going to start taking drum lessons. And oh my God, the noise. It's like listening to you, but worse. It's just awful. And oh yeah, they also became self-aware, which usually causes problems. Who would have thought? A holodeck gone wrong episode, Bill. But it happened in season 6 of Voyager. Spirit Fark. It was Fairhaven, and it was.
I have a question for you.
Oh, here we go.
We've known each other for just about 25 years now. Is there a time where you're going to become self-aware at any point? Asking for a friend.
I didn't expect that. That was good.
Thank you.
Thank you much, you big jerk. But
thank you.
I just write them like I see them, baby.
What are you seeing? My word. 5yearmission.net. Go get all those discs, yo. Don't forget that you too can support the Trek Geeks Podcast Network by subscribing to Patreon, where you can get all kinds of special exclusive perks like, there's laptop stickers, there's t-shirts, and our unparalleled annual supporters pin, which we produce with our friends at Fansets every year, Dan.
Every single year. This one looks gorgeous. Oh my God, it's beautiful. But right now we want to take a moment to thank our associate producers for Trek Geeks. We are so grateful for their support. And they include Dave Andrews, Vikram Bhatt, Luke Burnham, Brad DeMag, William Edward M. Jr., Brandon Everidge, Andy Fark, Kimberly Francis, Jonathan Hamilton, Brooke Horton, Ryan Jeffs, John Krikorian, Sean Lynn, Rick Mason, Jamie McGregor, Aaron Mollenkoff, Shane Murray, Tim Robertson, Greg Rozier, Eric Sakian, Adam Sanders, Tim Serdar, Heather Sohn, Lisa Tomlinson, Jessica Dax Vincent, Trey Womack, Ron Robel, and the gracious and wonderful Conrad Hutchins.
Wow, what was that? That was like Sean Connery meets something.
It was kind of like Liechtenstein.
That's from out of nowhere. We also want to thank our Trek Geeks producers for their support. They are Mike Bovia, Chaz Bradshaw, Ken Bird, Kyle Castillo, Peter Craig, Rachel Delaney, Craig Ewing, Jackie and Chris Hackney, Kimberly Hartman, David Hood, Steph Leskew, Leonel Marchand, Matt McGonigal, Jim McMahon, Charlie Mulvey, Sean O'Halloran, Jamie Rogers, Casey Shafsky, Chris Trabuzio, Ken Tripp, Christina Werther, and the lovely and talented Jess Vashon.
You too can become a producer on the Trek Geeks Network, and it is so easy to do. Even Bill could do it if he wasn't one of the runners of the site. Just head on over to patreon.com/TrekGeeks for all the details.
Dan, next week we're going to slingshot around the sun and take a look at where it all started, and then bring it all forward to the here and now.
I can't wait for this. One of the great things about Star Trek is that the stories and characters themselves are truly timeless. So we're going to take a look at the hour of television that could have started it all. We'll take a look at Captain Christopher Pike in 1965's The Cage, or depending on how you look at it, 1988's The Cage. But that's a story for next week on Trek Geeks, the flagship of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
We're actually going to look at Pike and Vina over a couple of episodes, so that should be pretty fun. Looking forward to it next week on the flagship. Of course, for more great Star Trek discussion, please check out the other member podcasts of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. In addition to Rewind and Politics and 5 Year Mission, you can also hear the brand new Infinite Trek with Aaron Harvey and Brandy Jackola every Tuesday. You can find all of our podcasts, including where to listen, by visiting trekgeeks.com/listen. The Trek Geeks Podcast Network, no one talks Trek like we do, Dan. No one. And of course, for all the news on all the Star Trek CO, please visit our great friends at treknews.net. For now, this has been episode number 233 of the Trek Geeks podcast. We do hope you all live long and prosper.
Coconut Infinity!
That sounds like the worst infinity ever.
Music for Trek Geeks is provided by 5 Year Mission. They're writing an original song for each episode of Star Trek. Hear more of their music at 5yearmission.net. Trek Geeks is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks podcast network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
Well, to correct a grave oversight, Dan, bing bong.
I don't remember how to do that. It's been so long.
I can't believe it. Last week, we forgot to do an outtake, which some people refer to as the bing bong.
Yeah, the bing bong. I forgot to say it. Sorry. Bing bong.
But no, it's okay. It took us 232 episodes to forget to do one.
It happens. Hey, the way that I've been forgetting things lately, I'm surprised it hasn't happened a lot sooner.
So am I, quite frankly.
Which is why, my forgetfulness lately, this today's episode's scaring me.
You should be scared. Because I'm not going to say it's going to be like running a gauntlet.
That was a fun game.
But I think that you'll be surprised at how well you'll do.
Okay. All right. I took your word for it.
I know you, as much as people love Stump the Geek, I know that it generally is something that doesn't necessarily stress you out, but you don't look forward to the recording.
Yeah, because if I don't do well, I'm going to feel like an idiot. But since that hasn't happened, I guess I don't have to worry about it, right?
Well, I was going to say, when have you ever not done well?
I know, but there's always a first time. First time for failure. That sounds like a song. There's a first time for failure, and his name's Bill.
What?
Huh? Who's what?
What?
I don't even know what happened.
Wow, well, it's really weird. It's like something possessed your microphone. And
I know.
Called me a failure.
Huh? Well, that's weird. I would never say that.
I hope the hell not.
No, I sing it though.
If I'm a failure, then we've only got the biggest little show this side of Failure Town.
Failure Town. Wow. Speaking of which,
if this is a failure, you're a vast part of it, my friend.
Yeah, probably the president of Failure Town. Speaking of Failure Town, that makes me think of Flavor Town. Oh my God, there was some good stuff on his show. I know how you feel about some of the stuff that they make on that show. This is like so good.
You're talking about diners, drive-ins, and dives?
Yeah.
The reason why it looks good is because he doesn't make it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people that fantastic, the stuff that these people make.
Guy Fieri's food is not great.
I just want to we want to go to so many of the restaurants that we see on that show. And some of them are like in Washington or Delaware. And we've actually talked about driving down there for a long weekend just to go to some of these places. And then there was one in LA that they had all kinds of duck stuff. And duck is my number one favorite food. I'll have, whenever it's on the menu, I don't look at anything else. Just boom, duck. They had a place in LA and they had it on the show. And I immediately messaged Champion and said, dude, next time I come out to LA, you are taking me to this place. And his response was, yeah, I really would love to if they hadn't closed down last year. Oh. I was devastated. And he was too. He said the place was great. And he doesn't know why they had shut down. But anyway.
So it's kind of the anti-Fieri effect.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Way to go, Guy. Why are you closing down restaurants?
What are you talking about? I was about to get out of you.
The best part is you can just slip into gibberish,
Yeah.
kind of like Boz Scaggs, and it just fits with Guy Fieri.
Yeah. Everybody, you just chewing on this earphone case. That's all good right here. And
I've eaten at one of his restaurants in Vegas, and I may as well have eaten a phone case.
It was not. We had the Mexican one there was not good.
It's the worst Mexican food I've ever had.
Yeah, didn't care for it at all.
Didn't we went to the place at the Link too, right? Last year? First night in town? Yeah, we sat out on the patio, had burgers. Yeah.
Was that one of his places? Oh, yes,
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it was. Yep.
It was
Yep,
meh.
yep. Yeah, it was meh. It was meh.
I've had better burgers in Vegas.
Okay. Did I tell my bird story on a recent Bing Bong? I don't think I did.
Tell it. You were going to tell it in the next one, which should have been last week, but we were idiots and forgot.
Oh, I know McGonagall loves my bird stories, the eagle and stuff like that. So, and you'll recognize the area because you're from this area. So a few weeks ago, Sue and I are driving down Smith Road, back way.
Yep.
To get back to the house, and we're going down a straightaway area, and we see this little mole run across the street, like quickly. You could tell it was a mole because it was small.
How did it run?
And it crossed from my right to the left, so from our side of the street across the street. And as we slowed down, because we always love watching animals no matter what, because we're pathetic. But as it was getting right to the edge of the left side of the street, we're right pretty much even with it. And we're both looking at it so we have our heads turned to the left, and we both look up ahead, because of course I'm still driving, and coming down the street at eye level with its wings fully unfurled and his claws out is a giant hawk. And he scooped that dude up. I was going to say something else. And bye. It was amazing. He was coming right down the middle of the road at eye level, like,
Hey, Hawkman, take it easy.
So I got to tell you, it's a circle of life, and it was sad. The look on Sue's face, I thought she was going to have a heart attack. She was just like, "Oh my God!" But it was amazing. See, that's not something you see every day, and it was cool. So I saw hockey. That was from Matt.
Hockey, really?
Oh, sorry.
In the immortal words of Don Rickles, you're a hockey puck. Do you remember the time he came through our place of employment?
Yeah. That was,
Yeah.
And he grabbed the phone right out of somebody's hand and started talking to the customer and insulting the customer.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, when you're Rickles, you get to do whatever you want to do.
That's what you do.
And you really don't care.
Yep. I never was a huge fan of Rickles except in Casino, because I like him in Casino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because he largely plays a dramatic role. He doesn't do comedy or insult jokes.
Yep.
Although I maintain he's probably the best insult comedian of all time.
I think so too. Yeah. You're pretty good with me, but Rickles is the king.
Without a doubt, he's the king. I mean, the guy just didn't have an off switch. For his time, he was probably the best.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be an insult comic. I got to be one every year during a magical dinner theater in my hometown, where I was the jester. I started doing this when I was like 15. And essentially, I got to insult people all night long, and they paid, a ticket price for the ability for me to do this.
That's why you're good at it.
But you really kind of hone your craft in insulting people when you start doing it at 15.
Yeah. You're a pro.
And you get to pick on anything, and they laugh regardless.
No, that's what they do.
At that age, you don't necessarily have as refined a sense of humor to know what you should and shouldn't pick on.
Right.
So I'd like to think now, 35 plus years later, that I'm better at it. But yeah,
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
This has been 2020 has been just horrible. I went to a funeral today, for God's sake. Just not fun. Things got to get better soon, I think, huh?
Well, we can only hope it gets better.
I will say that the church did a very good job. They had social distancing and masks and everything like that, so it was good. It was nice. Yeah.
I can imagine it's tough, because those are some of the things you take for granted in situations like this. I mean, how are people effectively supposed to grieve?
Right.
In funeral services and maintain social distancing and all the other protocols. So I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get the experience.
Yeah, me too. One of the things I thought was cool is they also had it online if people wanted to not go out, but I felt that I wanted to represent the family, so I went because my parents are in Florida.
Sure.
So I did it, but I was glad I did. But so it made me look forward to getting online with you and getting my ass kicked in trivia.
Wow, if that's what made you look forward to it, let's hope that doesn't turn into a trend.
Actually, just the chance to look at your face every once in a while is reason enough.
To want to get your ass kicked at trivia?
Take it as you will.
Are you ready to do this there, a-hole?
I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. I'll probably do awesome. And how many questions are there? 25?
There's 5 categories with 5 questions each,
right,
so 25,
so 25,
and one giganto bonus where you kind of get to pick your poison.
All right, so 25. I'm gonna say I get 20 to 25 right, 21 to 25, something along those lines.
How many of those will you need help on?
None.
Now I know you're full of crap.
Let's do it, Betty.
Let's do it.
Coconut.